Kevy says this is Badger music. I cannot confirm or deny that. Maybe. Actually, it popped into my head because I happened to be listening to a jungle compilation that I had downloaded just before the stream. Just randomly had it sitting around on my computer. I was like, oh, I should probably listen to some of this music I have downloaded at some point, and then I had to pick out an intro song, and it always seems to go over really well when I play some OST from the game that I'm actually playing, even though this is from the first Ratchet and Clank. This is the Iridia music. It is great. It is phenomenal. I do really like the music in Ratchet and Clank. I just also mostly play with the sound off. Anyway, happy Tuesday, everybody. It is Marito. How are you guys doing? I'm not going to do like a super long intro or anything this time, just because we are so close to the end of the game. I am really jonesing to get this thing in the bag tonight with all of you. So let's get a nice pop of the game case. That was softer than I was anticipating. There we go. Because yes, I play on real hardware, if you don't know. If you don't know, none of this is emulated. This is all from a real-ass PlayStation 2. Here's one right now. Hi, Jake. Hi, Kibby. Hi, Triss. I saw Moon in the chat earlier. Jake says he's waiting in the break room for his sandwich to toast. Hopefully it's a good enough sandwich. You know, I know that we don't always look for excellence in our food. I am, like the guinea pigs, I am a slop enjoyer, but if it tastes good, that's all that matters. Anyway, I always like to start off on this screen just because this is phenomenal. Like, this is such quality UI design. You don't see this anymore in anything, sadly. I feel like you should be able to move it, but you can't. That's alright though, because it still looks cool. Anyway, how's the last week of your life been, chat? Oh, it would help if I did that. And then also memory card. Memory card. With memory card things on it. I have not been playing PlayStation a lot lately. I've actually been playing PCSX2 a lot, which is emulated PS2, but because I was going for the Guitar Hero 2 set on Retro Achievements, which is going fantastic, except for the fact that 90% of my time playing so far, I haven't actually managed to get very many points in the set, because most of the points are around the expert level, like getting 5 stars on songs there, or 5-starring stuff on bass, and I just haven't been bothering with that. Not yet. I wanted to full game FC easy and medium first, which has been a fun little grind. Now we're going on to hard difficulty, so yeah, I have not turned on my PS2 since the last stream, which would have been, yep, 9 p.m. about a week ago. I'm genuinely really surprised and also glad that the clock battery in this console is still working. Believe me, I actually do care a lot about the times on these saves, especially when, you know, we get years down the road and I start to, like, for example, this Scooby-Doo save from an emulator, 2021, that's the last time that I played that game. So when the clock battery does go, I will be opening this up and fixing that. Although I have heard that it's kind of bullshit to actually get to the clock battery in a PlayStation. So, I don't know. We'll see. We'll have a good time. Are some of them going to be really tough, or will just take time to grind? First off, hi, Nia. Secondly, as far as expert stuff on Guitar Hero goes, there's not a ton in the game that scares me. Because it's different when it's a game you know so well, you know? It's different when it's a game that you're just so familiar with. I have spent so much time playing Guitar Hero 2 over my entire fucking life. You know, there's not a whole lot that scares me about it necessarily. There are some songs that they're already above my pay grade, so I'll have to see about really grinding the shit out of them. Thankfully, there's no FCs in the set. There's only 5 stars. There is a subset for expert FCs, which I'm not going for because I could probably get maybe 10% of the game. I could probably get expert FCs on. But anything like 6 or Jordan or Hangar 18, nah, that shit's not happening. So, but as far as the 5 stars go, hold on, I gotta turn on my stereo. I actually had a minor brain blast as I was getting home Saturday night because I didn't work Sunday because it's Easter Sunday, you know. Happy late Easter, everybody. That my fucking the optical converter, you know, to get lag-free audio from my PS2 needs a USB power connection, and there's a USB port in the front of the stereo. I was trying to power it, like, maybe with my TV USB port. That wasn't really working, but the one in the stereo actually does always power regardless of what's in the slot, so that's nice. But yeah, as far as the 5 stars go, there's not a ton outside of a couple of the bonus songs that I would, like, genuinely have to, like, really practice. I've never passed Jordan on expert. That's probably the big thing, is that I've never passed Jordan in any capacity. And of course, if you know anything about Guitar Hero, you know that Jordan is legendarily difficult. I think there's a crazy amount of notes per second, actually, at the fastest part of the solo, which is solo B. Whoops. Shut up. Sorry, that was my my phone, that way that I monitor chat. Let me check this, actually. Yeah, Buckethead composition. Huh. So that somebody removed it from the Wikipedia article, which is kind of annoying. They had the notes per second actually listed, and it was something, I don't remember. It was either like 15 notes per second or like 22 notes per second, some crazy shit like that. And it's just like trills, like all up and down the neck, and it's not something I've ever. I don't even know if I've gone for it, to be perfectly honest, because the last time I seriously played through Guitar Hero 2 with a guitar, I was like 8. I was like 8 years old, and I'm turning 26 in like a month and a half. So, it's been a while. It's been a while, man. Life's so rad. Anyway, so where the fuck were we? We got the meth head, right? The meth head and all of his crystals. Find Angela. So you have to tap 20 times a second. So the thing that makes it slightly easier is that and there's plenty of videos on YouTube of people doing Jordan. The lowest note in the phrase at that particular moment, you don't actually have to hit, because you can just anchor it. And the game, with the improved way that hammer-ons and pull-offs work in Guitar Hero 2. Apologies, by the way, if you hear like trucks going past or whatever. It's just the nature of where we live, right next to a fucking highway. Anyway, you don't have to do anything special but hold the lower fret to have it hit that note. So that's the one thing that makes it easier is you can anchor that lower fret and then play whatever higher frets you need. And you'll see this again if you watch videos of people playing Jordan. You can see them doing this. But that said, it's a lot easier to do it two-handed, which is not something that I've ever been able to pull off. I tried it a little bit for the fucking riff to Joker and the Thief, because I thought it would be funny if I could like two-hand that shit, but it requires elbow strumming, which is not normal. It's not feasible for human beings to do. Only plates. So I should probably like figure out where the fuck I'm going, right? Yeah, that's right up there. Wait, did I make the Hypnomatic? Yes. I did make the Hypnomatic. Okay. And we went down this way, right? That's the mine shaft. I have seen somebody do one-handed Jordan on the I'm still rambling, so I'm just going to do a little bit of grinding if that's alright. I have seen people do Jordan one-handed, but that takes a godly amount of fucking skill. That's hard. Anyway, the good news is that I don't have to FC Jordan for this set. I only have to 5-star it. And the 5-star cutoff, I want to say it's like a Play With Me situation. That's referring to the final song in Guitar Hero 80s, Play With Me by Extreme. Where if you can pass it, you're pretty much guaranteed to get the 5 stars. So I want to say that it's not too dissimilar to that as far as 5-starring Jordan goes. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm not even there yet. I've still got to play through. I've still got to play through all of Hard, which is 64 songs, by the way, because it's the 40 in the regular set list and then another 24 in the bonus set list. So I got to play through that, and then I've actually got to work my way through Expert, and I'll save the bonus songs for last. So Jordan will actually be one of the last things that I do in the set. So at least you don't have to redo and perfect it further. Yeah, as long as I can pass it and get 5 stars, I've done everything that I need to with Jordan. That's going to be probably the hardest one in the whole set, but there's plenty of others that are looking a little scary. 6, which is a song by All That Remains. That's a bonus song. Like I said, thankfully I don't have to FC it. Fast strumming in Guitar Hero 2, like vanilla Guitar Hero 2, is notoriously weird. At least we're not playing on the 360 version where it's actually like fucked up in some capacity. Seriously, multiple top-level players can confirm that fast strumming on the 360 version of Guitar Hero 2 is actually fucked up. I don't know why. Nobody knows why, I don't think. But it's just something about the way that it drops inputs. So in comparison to the PS2 version, I think Moose had said something to the effect of like I had to do 200 different restarts to get Miserloo 100%, and he got it within 3 tries on the PS2 version. So it's not a skill issue. There's something weird with the engine. Something that amuses me about you getting into playing Guitar Hero 2 again, and more recently me getting back into Skyrim, there's no escape from our autism. I'm glad. I'm genuinely glad, because it feels like we were in a period for a long time where we were like, no, let's not do the thing that makes us happy, because other people don't share that. And I don't know. I'm so fucking over that. I'm so excited to just like be completely what's the word I'm looking for? self-indulgent. That was it. And just, like, play fucking whatever and all that. I just would much rather that, you know? That's the way to live life, even if it's like, oh, I don't necessarily share this with other people. Like, that's fucking overrated. It's so overrated playing the, you know, playing the thing that everybody's playing. So what? You know, nobody really actually, like, looks down on you for it. If you're off doing your own thing, as long as you're, like, you know, cool to hang out with. And also, that's how you introduce other people to new things, you know, is by doing your own thing and being, like, really into it. You know, as opposed to fucking, you know, as opposed to, you know, everybody else, whatever they're doing, that's the acceptable thing to play, the acceptable thing to do. Nah, just enjoy it. And I do want to play more Skyrim as well. I have, I know that people like to call it, like, the overrated Elder Scrolls, but to be perfectly honest, it's the only Elder Scrolls game I can look at without wanting to kill myself, for one thing. But secondly, I feel like people who are really into something, they're like, well, they talk about depth, which is one, you know, it's understandable if you're into, you know, if you're into a certain genre and you're looking for more and you're looking for, like, a more in-depth experience. But what if you're not? What if I'm a casual player and I just want to have fun, you know, that kind of thing. And I don't want the thing that is the most depthful, because it's a lot, and it's not necessarily the most, you know, user-friendly. Morrowind is effectively a tabletop RPG that's mildly shoved into a computer RPG framework. You know, there's still a lot of, like, dice rolls to it, basically. It's like, I appreciate it for the world. I'm not interested in it as a game. You know, I've seen enough of it where I'm like, this is fucking horrific. But you know, there's a lot of people that really fucking like it. So, like, you know, that's all good. But for me, I just like wandering around and exploring, like, fucking, exploring random caves and stuff, you know, and Skyrim does that very well. So it is what it is. You know, there's different strokes for different folks, and I do want to play more Skyrim. Morrowind I'm fond of, but the combat is so funny, stabbing the local wildlife until I die. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is that the gameplay of it is, nobody has ever praised Morrowind's gameplay. Everybody who's interested in Morrowind is interested in the world and the story, you know? And it is a fascinating fucking world. There's a lot of interesting fucking, you know, Lord of the Elder Scrolls, but, like, nobody has ever praised it for the gameplay, because it's not a very good game. It's not... And I mean, that's understandable, you know, because it was coming so early in the whole explosion of, like, RPGs as this kind of, like, single-player experience. You know, you had stuff before, like, you know, Ultima or whatever, but there was nothing quite in that free roam thing other than, you know, like, Daggerfall, I guess. But Daggerfall was even more clunky. So it was, you know, a natural progression. And of course, it's Bethesda. Bethesda is a company that makes very wonky games, you know. That's not a bad thing. There's a lot of charm to Bethesda games, and there's, you know, a lot of memes and a lot of quirks about them that absolutely, I think, endear them to people. It's just, is that necessarily my thing? You know, sometimes it is. My dad played Daggerfall. He mostly remembers getting lost because the map is massive. Yes, and that's another thing, is that people there's some people that really praise, like, gigantic worlds. I don't. I like very tidy, contained worlds. But that doesn't mean that, you know, it's not impressive, and it's not, I think, interesting to discuss. I think that's another thing also, is that just because it's not necessarily, like, my kind of game, that doesn't mean that I don't find it interesting. I absolutely do find like the earlier Elder Scrolls games really interesting to talk about. And there is, like I said, like a certain kind of charm to, like, weren't all the dungeons in Oblivion built by one guy, basically? I saw the latest journal entry today, and I love the drawing. It's really cool. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, I'm still a little bit on the fence about where I want to be posting art. Definitely on the journal. I'm really comfortable with that. And then I stopped posting to DeviantArt. I actually did post this one to DeviantArt, but that's going to be like the last one because I'm just so tired of... I go on the site and I on my front page there is like literal AI generated naked women. And it's like, is this really worth it? At what point are you selling out your website, like, just to whoever is interested in posting to it? You know, like DeviantArt has always had a reputation for being DeviantArt, don't get me wrong, but it was never like, oh, there's like an actual like naked ass right on my fucking homepage. Cool. Gotta love it. Can you not suppress / disable seeing AI stuff? No, you cannot. And that's basically by design. It was only because of like extreme backlash that DeviantArt even allowed you to opt out of having your drawings train AI models. Like, it was only because literally everybody started complaining and like mass deleting artwork that they were like, okay, you can set this so that way models won't train on it, which is still literally entirely under the honor system. There's no guarantee that because you click that button that your art is not being used to train AI models. It's like a robot.txt kind of thing where just because you say that, you know, user agents aren't allowed to access this directory, it doesn't mean that they're actually not allowed. Laws only protect the honest people, and the AI people are the least honest among us. Yeah, no, there's literally an AI image generator on the site using other drawings on the site as its database. Yeah, it's called DreamUp, I think it's called, which, you know, nothing says letting your dreams come true by letting a program do it for you. I checked and you can suppress, but you will still see some. Yeah, no, there's no way to turn it off, and that's on purpose, because AI is very, very good for DeviantArt's growth at all cost user metrics that they're actually prioritizing. I once again, I have nothing but strong recommendations. If anybody is interested in the topic of where all this AI shit is going and where the tech industry in general is going, go read Ed Zitron's stuff. Ed Zitron, fantastic dude. Really like interesting, good sense of humor. And he's the only one I've actually seen, other than like a couple people working actually in like the data science industry, who are actively digging into what an absolute menace AI is and why all of this is happening. And his theory, which is, in my opinion, rock fucking solid, is that the thing that's being prioritized by companies now is growth. How are we showing that there are more people on our website year after year, kind of thing? That's the only thing that they prioritize. It doesn't matter user experience. It doesn't even matter revenue. All that matters is, can we convince venture capitalists that more people are going to be going on our site next year than this year? And that means that they should give us money. That's it. That's literally the only thing that the tech industry is built on anymore. And his idea is that it's all inspired by kind of like a disruption model, where for, I think probably since the 80s, right? Technology has been used to disrupt industries over and over and over, where things were done by hand or they were done on a small scale, then the internet comes around or mobile phones come around, and suddenly there's this gigantic new, everybody needs to get on this immediately model. And unfortunately that doesn't exist anymore. That all went stagnant around, I want to say 2014, 2015. Everybody has like a different time in the 2010s where they think that everything kind of went stagnant and you kind of solved all of tech's problems. I think that it was early in the decade. Because think about it. Social media was already, like, very prevalent by 2012, 2013. Fucking the iPhone 4 was already huge by 2010. You know, these things were basically solved problems. And then for a couple years, we kind of coasted on that. And then since probably 2016, 2017, there's been this big spook in the industry where people are like, well, is there anything left to disrupt? And the problem is that the things that we are disrupting, ironically enough, get disrupted. So a great example of that would be Uber, where Uber eventually started turning a mild profit, but what did it do in the process? It raised a whole bunch of questions as far as workers' rights and disrupting like traditional taxi services in major areas, and it took what was formerly very locally minded and turned it into a gigantic corporation comes in and pays random people not that much money to drive around and potentially have all of their shit risked, by random people getting in their cars. And that's what disrupting industries looks like for the most part. It looks like, surprisingly enough, disrupting things. So now that we don't have that as much anymore, because everything has kind of already been disrupted, where do we go from here? AI is the last gasp. AI is the last gasp of the growth at all costs thing. You can't sell people social media because all Westerners are already on some form of social media. Things like 80% of adults in the U.S. use YouTube, and like I want to say it's like 50 to 60% use like Twitter and Facebook and all that. So basically everybody is already on social media. So who are you going to sell social media to other than third worlders, frankly, people who are not online? And by the way, that's been slowing down as well. The amount of people who have been getting online like newly year after year, I think in 2021, 22 was the lowest it's been since like 2003. So we're even just the basic people getting online is starting to slow down. It's kind of hard to sell people the internet when everybody's already on the internet. So we end up in this bizarre world where these companies are like, they're getting desperate. They're like, what is the next hyper-scalar growth industry? And it doesn't exist. So what do they have to do? They have to astroturf this fucking AI stuff, which is a neat concept. There's neat technology behind it, but the best anyone's ever been able to find as far as what to do with it is basically to summarize other data. And sometimes not very accurately. I mean, just ask Google, telling you to glue fucking pepperoni to your pizza and jump off a building if you're depressed, to solve your depression, which technically works. That kind of thing. That's what it looks like now. That's what growth at all costs looks like. Because it's certainly not in the interests of the users. It's certainly not in the interests of generating revenue, because all of these AI models are massively unprofitable to run. All of them are gigantic money sponges. All of them. I think that I just saw an article earlier today. Sam Altman, OpenAI's CEO, literally said every time you say please or thank you to ChatGPT, he loses millions of dollars. That's not how you run a business. That's not how businesses are run. So they're like, well, what the fuck do we do now? Like they're hoping that we can just eke out like a little bit more of a hit. Oh, but just I need a little bit more of that China white right in my fucking big vein, dude. Just one more hit. Come on. Like proper boss man jack shit is over AI, which again has done nothing useful for anybody ever, with the sole exception of it can generate like text. It can generate text based on a prompt, which is neat. It's interesting. It's it's there in non-critical situations there might be a use for it, but certainly not at this level of unprofitability, and certainly not with the things that people want to use it for, which is information. Apparently Google is not the place people go to find shit out anymore. It's ChatGPT, which is literally quoting Reddit posts from people named Fucksmith. are being quoted as legitimate sources of data by ChatGPT. It's crazy. It's absolutely fucking crazy. It's wild times out there, and we're going to start seeing really bad things happen to the tech industry very, very soon once people realize, and once AI is properly unprofitable, which it already is, but I mean when, like, when the bill actually comes, you know, when the bar tab is finally here and people see that, like, these companies are on the hook for, like, $30 billion that they cannot pay because their product does not make money. No, it's fucking over. It's going to be hell on earth. It's gonna be another .com incident. It will. But the thing is, at least the internet was eventually a thing that was able to generate revenue. AI will never be that. Sorry, I went on a rant. Let me go ahead and catch back up on chat. So the point of services like Uber and Airbnb was to take pre-existing industries with safety laws for both customer and worker and changing them just enough to be exempt and thus cheap, enough to kill out existing competition, at which point they raise prices, take their fill, and run the moment it stops being profitable. Yes, exactly. Because it's all about disruption. It's all about how can we be seen as the pioneers of an industry. And that's what they do. It's you know how everybody made fun of that goofball from Ocean Gate, where he was like, regulations only stop progress, and then, you know, he got squished like a fucking cherry tomato at the bottom of the ocean because he didn't pay attention to the regulations. Yeah. That shit happens literally all the fucking time in business now. Like, that's just the way that your business is supposed to operate. Used to be that you would come up with a business model, and it would be profitable, you know, enough to grow your business a little bit over time, and you would go from there. But the thing is, that's boring. It's not exciting. It doesn't really, you know, pump my nads. So instead we got to do this bullshit. And yeah, in a less corporate world, it would still be experimental tech used in controlled environments. It would be. And there are very small applications for ChatGPT and machine learning that I've seen that are interesting and useful, like using it to separate instruments in a recording. I mean, there's things that are now possible with audio technology that weren't possible before, because of machine learning, you know, and these train these models and then have them replicate data based on that, you know. Not only is that useful, it's fascinating. Stuff like demux, like, genuinely, that is a nice use for machine learning technology, and that's not the thing that your average person is using it for. It's not niche applications like that. What they see is fucking Google Gemini, ChatGPT, and all this other, you know, machine learning bullshit. And my favorite part is when these gigantic companies go, oh, you know, this is going to replace entry-level workers. Great, fantastic. So you're replacing people who are already very, very cheap to employ and are not skilled workers at all. You're replacing them with massively unprofitable computer programs that in some cases do the job worse than the person. Also, you can pretend like you're cutting costs. It's suicide. It's the drinking, rubbing alcohol phase of alcoholism applied to the whole tech industry. It's absolutely bonkers. And my stepdad was saying that he asked ChatGPT whether a movie was being filmed in Canada and was upset. It said, no, it's being filmed in Cape Breton. Like, yeah, it doesn't know what Canada is. It's true, it doesn't. It has no concept of anything other than what was in, like, the last, like, couple paragraphs of its training data, basically, which is why it will get basic details wrong over and goddamn over. And the thing is that we recognize this. We recognize this as savvy people, you know, who are terminally online, but normies don't fucking get that. Your average person is legitimately going to ChatGPT thinking, oh my god, this is the future, because it looks like the future. It looks like a human is responding to you, but it's not. It's a program that's designed to seem like a human being. And it was funny too, because I remember back in the day. Sorry, let me get a drink of water real quick. Yeah, the human mind's urge to anthropomorphize is the fuel for the scam. Yes, absolutely. It looks like somebody is replying to you, but it's not. And what I was about to say was, it reminds me of the curly thing. You know, if you're sufficiently old web like I am, you might remember a little thing called Demos, which was the open Mozilla directory, which is meant to be a human aggregated network of links to sites, with the purpose being that, you know, instead of Google recommending some site because it thinks it's more trustworthy, a human can actually look at this and go, this is more trustworthy, and recommend you know, actually useful information that way. And now Demos is instead operated as Curly, which, because the Open Directory project Demos thing got spun off back in like 2006, 2007. So now it's operated as Curly, and it's still around. It's not obviously very popular, but it's still around, and it is fascinating. But, you know, their whole thing was, you know, humans do it better. Hashtag humans do it better. And now, what we've said collectively as a society is, no, fuck that. I in fact want the hallucinating computer to do it for me. And there's going to be fuck-ups. There's going to be massively unprecedented fuck-ups. As normal-ass people who got sold this scam are, you know, they used ChatGPT for something, and ChatGPT gave them wrong information. And that's not even counting, like, the stuff that is obviously really fucked up and is somehow still allowed to continue out in the open. Namely Character.ai, which is entirely built off the likeness of human beings. Like, people who do not give their permission whatsoever to be literally imitated on this website, like impersonated by this computer algorithm. But the thing is that it appeals to a specific breed of insane person who wants to pretend like they're talking to Drew Gooden or cartoon characters or whatever the fuck. Is it interesting? Sure, I can see it being an interesting application of the technology. Is it massively unethical? Absolutely. Is this the kind of thing that is going to be like a landmark case in law and technology for years to fucking come once it happens? Yeah. Like, you just can't do that. Just because you can do it with the technology does not mean... Yeah, you can tell Kami's into this rant because he's reading chat every 15 minutes. Yeah, no, it's just crazy to me. It's just absolutely fucking wild to me, and that how the internet has changed. I feel like part of my weird nostalgia for like the mid to late 2010s, even though it was objectively not a very good time, is just due to the fact that that was the last time that the internet made sense. And now I just look out onto this fucking ocean of companies who are openly evil and are proud of it, technology that is only being used for bad things, and a increasingly growing dead internet, you know, that is just does not resemble the internet that I fucking remember. I'm not black-pilled about it, you know. These problems solve themselves, but like, is it wild? Kind of a lot, actually. Anyway, sorry. I will read chat though. It's being funded by people in high places who are not even vaguely knowledgeable in the fields they're on top of looking to cut corners with no regard for human life. Yeah, Sam Altman is not a scientist. He is a scam artist. My Wi-Fi is dying. Are we talking about AI? There he is. Yeah, he's a scam artist, and he's very, very good at looking you right in the eye and lying to you. And that is exciting to an industry that is looking for the next big thing to disrupt the industry. Is a very confident liar who will give you a reach around while he's fucking you in the ass, as Sam Altman does. So, and they're all like that. All of these fucking top-level executives are all scam artists, and they know it. And the day of the rope cannot come soon enough. In Minecraft, of course. I remember Tris telling me that modern large language models actually work in a very similar way to a very early chatbot, Yeah, I think you're referring to Eliza. Yeah, Eliza is double tap R1 to do charge. I've been doing that, dude. I've been doing that. And by the way, it's X and R1. Anyway, hi, Casey. Yeah, no. Eliza worked in basically the same way. And again, it's funny because nobody actually used Eliza seriously because everybody knew, oh, this is just like, you know, this is just a computer being goofy. And now there's actually like proper lonely people who are like looking to chatbots and like ChatGPT and these AI models for companionship because they feel so alienated by humanity. And people will be killing for their waifu. They will be. In some cases, they already are. We're almost done, by the way, with this grind, and I can actually continue on with the game. I promise. Yeah, there was some AI that was just a virtual therapist, and it just rephrased things. Yep. People go for AI because it's easier in all cases. It's easier than talking to a real person who might disagree. It's easier than hiring a person. It's easier than learning how to use a search engine. But that's the other thing also, is that people are trained on chats. Like that's the way to interact with the internet that people know is chats and occasionally social media statuses. So as a result, because of that built-in familiarity where we recognize something as familiar and thus innately trust it more, when you provide something that seems authoritative in a chat format, people are automatically going to trust it, even though that it's not a person, it's a computer. And it's not even a particularly smart computer, it's just a text predictor. And the industry has looked at this and gone, this is a completely ethical use of my time and resources. I have absolutely zero regrets as the pond scum of the human race. I do think a lot of people have a hard time remembering that modern LLMs only work on the level of text prediction. Yeah. Because they're always going to have trouble remembering that because it feels real. It feels real enough until it starts lying to your fucking face. It feels real. It feels real, and it can say sorry when you say, hey, can you, like, remember this basic fact that I've told you 6 times? It'll apologize, and you'll go, oh, this is sort of like a real person. Even if you know it's bullshit, subconsciously your brain is still going to be thinking that this is a human being you're interacting with. Because it interacts in the same way that humans do. So even though it's literally just a text predictor, it feels real enough that people get fooled by it, and people get attached to it. And people are going to start trying to marry ChatGPT. In fact, I think it's already happened. And it's just an incredibly weird time. And I don't know what will solve it. I don't know what will solve it. I don't know what the end of it will be. I do know that there is a reckoning coming, though. And it's not going to be in the form of somebody with a gun. It's going to be in the form of number crunchers going, hey, you have no money. We have no money, and we are like $300 billion in debt. So, like, we got to start, we got to file for Chapter 7 kind of shit, Even knowing it, people will fall into complacency to rely on AI for very basic things like checking the weather and shit. Yeah, that too. Is if you're already in the habit of using it, then even if you know it's not great, it's still you're still gonna be lazy. You're still gonna be like, oh well, this can sort of do the trick. So I'm just gonna go for it. I'm just gonna again rely on ChatGPT. But to what end? One of these days, I'm gonna finally get this rocket launcher upgraded. We are so close. And then I'll actually finally feel confident being able to take on the end of the game. That's why we're doing this grind, by the way. I know that I have literally been doing this for the past half hour, but we need to grind this rocket launcher or else I'm going to be massively underpowered for whatever the fuck awaits me. Joke's on them. My pineal gland was already calcified. Motherfuckers. We are already at a point where the smaller version of models are outperforming the larger deep reasoning models. We still don't understand LLMs. I don't know just how far that affects things. I think it's an interesting technology. I don't think that there is an application, like a killer app for it. I think that there is going to be niche uses. I think there's already niche uses that are certainly interesting, but every time I get told, you know, something to the effect of AI is going to cure cancer, I don't believe it. And even if some smaller model is capable of doing that, I'm still not going to believe it because I've been fucking burned one too many times. I think everybody has, you know? Everybody has been sold bullshit one too many fucking times that even if this technology can, you know, legitimately have major ramifications for something other than massively shitting up our internet and quality of life, who's gonna fucking believe it, you know? This is why it's very bad to believe bullshit artists, because they will poison the well for everybody else. The DeepSeek shakeup was very funny. It was. And it was a great example of how much of scam artists all of these companies are. That a random fucking Chinese company, and granted, you know, being a fucking random Chinese company, it's a little bit shady, the details. Still, though, their models were, you know, at least in some limited degree, running on random MacBook Pros. So, you know, we were told over and over that only these handful of companies are able to do this thing. And then here comes, there we go, finally.
For a larger blast, hold down
The Mega Rocket Tube.
The Mega Rocket cannon is fully charged.
Oh, hell yeah. Check that shit out, class. Boom. It's been terrible for any kind of education. Kids are going on ChatGPT, answers questions for me. Hey, ChatGPT, write my fucking book report for me. Oh, it's awful. It's absolutely fucking terrible. It's fucking awful. And it turns out that your actions have consequences. When will you learn? When will you learn? The study into AI used to detect breast cancer also showed that the doctors' rates of being able to detect it plummeted when they knew the AI was doing it. People aren't going to know how to write. I barely do. The illiteracy is through the fucking roof, dude. Like, it was even when I was in high school. Before all this shit, people were already completely unable to write a paragraph. Like, they just had no fucking concept of it. Now that ChatGPT can spit out stuff that looks pretty good, all bets are off. Welcome to the exciting future. Oh, I just got a voicemail. That's exciting. Should we listen to this voicemail live, chat? Should we listen to the voicemail that I got live? It's probably not going to be anything interesting, but let's do that. Alright, one moment.
You have one unheard message and no saved messages. First, unheard message from Hey, this is Jessica Martin with the National Tax Relief Program.
Yep,
As you may have
I figured.
erasing this.
I figured. Saw a TikTok screenshot that amused me, though. I was like, how do people write a 600-word essay before ChatGPT? By writing 600-word essays. That's not that much. New aphrodisiac samples. I deleted it. I deleted the message. It was just, I don't know, it was just some bullshit. Find Angela. Okay, let's actually do that now that I have the hypnomatic. Right. I'm still on this planet. Next year I will be returning to music. The Wi-Fi has been sucking for days now, but today it's really, really bad. Ethernet supremacy. Ethernet supremacy. How much for this armor, by the way? I can't afford it. I'm poor. That gun is still fucking awesome, by the way. The bouncer. Just fucking ruins everything. Find Ratchet's girlfriend. That's the plan. She is on this planet somewhere. I think it's the rain messing with the Wi-Fi today. That's unfortunate. Because you live in Wales. Oh, right, hypnomatic. Hit that fucking bot.
This receiver bot has a blaster attack. Press circle to shoot enemies. To exit the robot, press triangle.
But I was doing that. They lied. Where was that? Press circle to shoot enemies. They lied. It's square. It's the square button. Circle does this shit. This is square. Evil. Absolutely dangerous. Oh, that's right. No, well, that works okay for those guys. Hold on. Huh. It's a neat looking room, but there's nothing here. Huh. Well, what the fuck was the point of that? Wait, can you climb this? Yeah, there we go. That's it. Laundry is all caught up. Hell yeah, clean clothes. Okay, was that the only thing that was up here? Platinum bolt? Neat, I guess. No, seriously, chat. Am I stupid? Am I insane or am I just stupid? Here, let's keep looking around. It might have unlocked something else as well. Sorry. Maybe this is the wrong part of the level entirely. Let's go back up. It was. My bad. My bad, chat. How do I get across this gap? I mean, I can't. Yeah. Can't do that. What the fuck? You need to use the Hypnomatic. Can the Hypnomatic reach that far? Wow, it can! What a neat tool. Fascinating. Ow. Leave me the fuck alone. I am a humble hot sauce merchant. Let me map the Hypnomatic to something else. Yeah, we can swap the Dynamo for it, because I figure they're going to be using the Hypnomatic more in the late game. Oops. This is crazy. This is like several layers of controlling robots right here. Do you think you're actually swapping between the robots, or do you think that Ratchet and Clank are just like controlling a robot to control a robot to control a robot to control a robot? I think it's the first, but the second is funnier. See? There we go. That's the way you got to think about it. What? Return to the surface? What? Okay, this is a different part of the level now. Alright. Hey, it's those guys. That's right, use the bouncer. I remember this conversation. I don't just have holes in my brain.
Hey, nice digs.
Yeah. It's a little remnant from my previous life.
You were reincarnated?
No. My Megacorp days. They've got a very
Having holes in my
generous
brain is my
page.
thing. I think it's a lot of people's thing now.
So
Also,
now
hello,
you've got your
hello,
ID badge, how do
Rulrick.
we take out the protopet?
Watch this.
Mommy, where do protopets come from?
Why, they come from Megacorp, dear.
That's right, Mrs. Robot. All of the protopets in the galaxy come from right here, in our factory. Your little friend is lovingly extracted from the original protopet. Each protopet is given a name and birth certificate that is unique. Our training system helps mold your pet into a wonderful friend that you'll cherish forever.
This is fucked up.
So the next time your child asks,
Mommy, where do protopets come from?
you can answer with confidence. They come from Megacorp.
That factory is using the original protopet to produce all the others.
Exactly. If we can take out the original protopet, that'll shut them down permanently.
Why can't they just use one of the smaller
Give us a
protopets as the
complete
base?
service at Groovy Lou.
Oops.
Sorry, what?
Wrong one. This will deactivate the door to the protopet duplication area. I'll meet you there.
Sure you want to split up?
No, Megacorp's orbital defenses are nasty. With 2 ships, there's a good chance at least one of us will get through.
Good thinking. Just be careful.
Right.
Man, his boner is so strong right now. Put in a defective protopet, just like that part in Portal 2. Why, hello there. Oh, it's a fucking raritanium extractor. Oh, man, just like in the desert planet. Yeah, no. Neat, but I just want to go home. Oh, hey, look, there we are. This is it, the final level. Are you ready? Absolutely not. It's time to be such pro gamers. I'm so ready. Also, fun fact, you were supposed to fight a boss as those hypno robots in that area. Like, as in, I missed something or it was cut content. Oh, it was cut because the level was already taking too much memory. Ah, the classic. Back when developers, you know, developed things as opposed to just producing 125 gigabytes of uncompressed waves for fucking audio. I'm telling you, we got some special ass developers in the 90s and 2000s, man. Planet Yeetle. It's time to yeetle the protopets. But first, let me smash all the lights. 'Cause I'm me. Apparently it was mostly finished. The bestiary icon is still in the files. Love that. I love cut content in games. I was talking about this with Somnolescent the other night. But I feel like kind of like that mystique of older games has been lost because there's so much like data mining and stuff going on. You can't just have like a classic like Mew under the truck kind of thing anymore. The one place where that kind of storytelling is still extant in games though is fucking in cut content, because you get to see it, you get to speculate, people can mod it back into the game, there's reasons why it gets cut. Like, that's the kind of stuff that I love. I love the greasy details, you know, and unfortunately the greasy details at this point are that they just use Unreal Engine 5 for fucking everything, and it sucks. It wasn't that long ago when they were finally like, fuck it, this game requires an SSD. Like, it doesn't have to require it if you don't suck dick at making games, but, you know, go off, I guess. Oh, Hypnomatic, that's right. I forget that the Hypnomatic can work so far.
This receiver bot can hypnotize other robots.
Yeah, I know. I did that before. I had to do that earlier.
Circle.
Whoops. I bought the Dead Space remake and realized after it needed an SSD, refunded it because the pop-in was unreal. That's my point, is that, you know, there's like, these games don't have to require anything. We had games that ran on fucking disk media not that long ago. Disks, notoriously slow, slower than hard drives. And yet, for whatever strange reason, the strange reason is that they want you to buy new equipment to make their games seem more fancy. Instead, they're like, no, it requires an SSD. Like, you could make the game work on anything you fucking wanted to. You just choose not to. Optimization is a lost art. You just choose not to. Especially when you consider that games haven't gotten any, like, harder to run. The only thing that they've gotten is larger. You know, they're not doing anything. Maybe graphically they're doing things that require more juice, but the actual game itself is not. The actual game itself is basically the same game that you would have bought on the fucking Xbox. We haven't progressed. It's just, you know, it's bloatware. It's absolute bloatware. And again, the 125 gigs that the Oblivion Remastered is going to take up is a fucking meme. Like, it's yet another thing that the only reason we talk about it is because it's insane. You know, so many of these things are just memes, effectively. And this is why I only play PS2 games. I remember watching a video a long time about Super Mario 1's level compression stuff. The annals of like gaming history are filled with fascinating stories of games being built on woefully inadequate hardware with the most insane programming tricks. Oblivion Remastered is Gamebryo running with a UE5 wrapper? Are you shitting me? Bro! Unbelievable! Actually fucked up. Wow. Okay. So yeah, like my point being, fun story, right? You guys know the original Pitfall? I've probably streamed it at some point. The one for the Atari, you know, the one with Pitfall Harry. There's 255 screens of Pitfall. And how did they manage to do that on a console with 128 bytes of RAM? Well, David Crane did an entire post-mortem at a GDC over it, and he said something to the effect of, like, it was a polynomial counter. So it was this 8-bit value that if you give it a certain seed, which is the screen number, it will always give you the same polynomial value. those are the kinds of things that, like, oh wow, that's fucking genius. And yeah, it you know, deterministically made 255 screens of Pitfall goodness work on such an underpowered console. You know, again, gaming history is filled with these stories of, like, wow, that's really fascinating. You have shit like that, or like SMB1 with the level compression system, or the LOD system that was in the first Spyro the Dragon to get these gigantic worlds to run on the PlayStation. Which, by the way, if you know anything about game dev, an LOD, like a level of detail system, requires you to implement multiple models for everything. So so you know, it's pretty common these days, but remember, the PlayStation 1 had 4 megabytes of main memory. 4 megabytes. So you're talking about storing multiple copies of the level in 4 megabytes, basically. That's kind of an oversimplification, but not by much. Stuff like that, you know, Spyro, built by Insomniac. Naughty Dog, always, you know, crazy programming, crazy bullshit like that. Some of their stuff actually got shared with Insomniac. Which other ones pop up at the top of my head? What's his name? He worked at Nintendo. He was the insane guy that got Pokemon Gold so compressed that they were able to fit most of Kanto in there. Shit, I'm not gonna remember his name, but he was a legend. If you know it, shout out in the comments. Kebby says, it's a thing where it's less about the hardware and more about laziness and cheapness. Limitations breed creativity, but those limits can be cited by yourself and not by the hardware. Yeah, there's no reason that they can't make a game that is well optimized and will run on 10, 15-year-old hardware. They just don't want to. They don't see a reason to do that. We could have a really good modern Elder Scrolls game, or even a really good remake of an old game. The industry just isn't set up for it. Nowadays, it's all modders. It's all modders and insane people who are just, like, putting together these projects just, like, in their spare time. And then what do the big companies do? They get big mad and send out cease and desists because they're like, you can't make us look bad like that. I said this earlier in Somnolescent. Yeah, it's a lot of it is designed by committee too. I said this earlier in Somnolescent, but the thing about the Elder Scrolls 6 or GTA 6 is that these, you know, the predecessors of these games, excuse me, came out at a much different time for the game industry. 2010, where there was still, like, goodwill and, like, people liked companies and shit like that. So people were really, like, anticipating Skyrim, and they were really anticipating GTA 5 and all that. And things have changed a lot. People got burned one too many fucking times by games that promised the world, and games that cost, you know, $20 trillion to make, and all this shit. And it's like a common adage these days to just wait 6 months, because that's when they'll fix all the fucking problems that should have been fixed day one, but unfortunately they had to shit the game out, you know. So, and I think what the holdup was on GTA 6 and Elder Scrolls 6 is that these games will single-handedly show how much of the ass that the game industry is showing at this point, how much of their ass they're showing, and how things aren't just different on the player side, but they're different on the developer side too. You know, so. I can certainly hope that they're good, but I think that they recognize that there's a very good chance that these games, A, are not going to live up to expectation even if they were good, and B, are probably going to be fucking terrible. You know, what was the last thing we got from Rockstar? GTA Definitive Edition. What was the last thing we got from fucking, you know, the Elder Scrolls teams? Elder Scrolls Online. So, you know, I think they recognize that if these fuck up, they're going to be a black eye for these very famous and very successful IPs. So they're like, well, we're just gonna wait. We're just gonna sit it out. One thing I heard that nowadays people will get 2 games a year, so if your game isn't Game of the Year, you're screwed. I feel like that happens in every single industry now. Music might be a little bit different, but I know certainly with movies, Red Letter Media just did a whole video about how all of these modern like movies that are built with, you know, like new ideas or whatever, they're all flopping. And it's not necessarily because they're bad movies. It's just that people are I mean, there's plenty of reasons for it, you know? And yeah, bad economy is absolutely a big part of it. What's the first thing that's going to go when you have no money? Your disposable video game budget. You're probably just going to be emulating PS1 games for a bit. You know? Why wouldn't you? So, it's unfortunate. It sucks. And it's not what I would like to see from the industry. But things have gotten maybe have gotten a little too big. Maybe we need a fucking reset. I'm not saying video game crash. That's what everybody goes for. You know, I don't think you necessarily need to nuke the industry to start over. But things do need to fucking change, and maybe it would be nice to have someone else come out on top, except for these gigantic companies. I don't know if it's likely to happen. I don't have answers. I'm a guy with a Pokemon avatar on the internet, but sure would be cool. Pushing a culture where you squeeze every last bit of profit out of your working class to give them nothing, what you end up with is a customer base that can't afford anything. Yeah. Basic fucking the commodity goods at this point are like, there's no guarantee that people will actually be able to afford them. Look at all the bullshit about fucking computer hardware, over the past 5 years or so. It never recovered from being horrifically fucking expensive. Can I just hop this gap now? I cannot. And yeah, there's too much good content. It's unfortunate, because these are the kinds of things where if the industry was less, more segmented, less like everybody was, if there were smaller pockets, basically, this is the kind of thing where it could work. But instead, everybody is kind of grouped into just, almost like anti-grouped almost. There's no enthusiast bases anymore. Like, you get shit like, I don't know, like RPG codex, where, a certain subset of people who like, RPGs, computer RPGs, that kind of thing, that's where they go. But there's not small pockets anymore for developers to be able to appeal to people. Instead, everybody is kind of thrown into the same pool of the internet, where everything just seems gigantically massive. So where do you go when everything is noise? You go where the loudest noise is. So it's where you end up with people who will just play 2 big games a year, because they're not finding the smaller games anymore, because there's just too much, and it's not easy to actually get news of your game out there, to those people. There's not, for as much as you could say about like the publisher system, the label system for music, any of that shit, go back, you already finished this puzzle. How do I get across the gap then? Oh, okay, I see. Ooh, felt like the game had to load slightly. That's exciting. This is looking familiar. It's looking kind of spooky up there. But yeah, I don't know. It's easy to doom and gloom about stuff. But at the end of the day, what I'm interested in is something that is not necessarily like particularly hard to get, which is that creatives are able to make the thing that they want to make and eke out a good existence for it. I don't think that that's too much to ask, and I don't think it's too difficult to get. I think that it requires much different circumstances in the world that we live in, but I don't know. I do hold out hope that things will clear up. And even if things are imperfect, that people will be able to make it happen. I think games are an industry where indie companies can work, unlike animation. Yeah, for sure. I do think that there is a hope for indie devs to make little markets themselves. Like I was saying, little pockets. It's not like the way that, think of the traditional channels for marketing a game. You know, your magazines, your demo discs, maybe industry press online, that kind of thing, where somebody could go to that spot and see what's going on. Those things can still happen, I think. They just need to be... People just need to be aware of them, you know, which is really hard to do. Because back in the day, you know, you would open up your copy of Ratchet and Clank Going Commando, and you would see a little insert for PlayStation Underground. That's how you would find out about new games. You know, Sony made it really, really easy. That kind of thing doesn't really exist anymore because, you know, it's got to be the indie market making that marketing push happen, as opposed to a gigantic company like Sony, which is a lot more difficult. So, yeah, like I said, I don't have all the answers. I just, I'm hopeful about things. And too big to fail has always been a crock of shit. Whoops. Yeah, I am just, whoops. I see that worked out great for me. Hold on. Okay. Too big to fail, more like big enough that when they fail, it's really funny. Yeah, basically. And like, yeah, I know that there's like real ass people in these companies, and as a result, when they fail, they gotta, you know, it sucks. When they fail, when the companies fail, the people also fail. I get that. It does suck. But by the same token, you do gotta laugh at Ocean Gate occasionally. I don't make the rules. I just know that hubris is very, very funny, regardless of who it's coming from. Yeah, I think you can acknowledge things can be both horrible and funny. Yeah, exactly. As John LeJoie famously put it, like a fire in a nursing home. What is that guy up to these days? I miss that guy. Those videos were fucking iconic. But yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, motherfucker. That is pretty funny. That is very, very funny. And hey, at the very, very least, it was an immediate death. It wasn't like they were suffering at the bottom of the ocean. It was just kind of like, oh, sorry, you don't exist anymore. It's still horrible, but that's like the lesser of the horribles. Yeah, no, the teenage son did not want to be on it. That was he knew what was going to happen. The kids are all right, except when the adults risk their entire fucking life. Sucks. Yeah, understandably so. I'm like, hey, this kind of looks sus. This fucking carbon fiber submarine kind of looks fucking really suspicious. But no one listens to the kids. Everyone is too worried that the kids are turning out wrong. The kids know more than you fucking think. Like that one. He knew he was gonna die. And he was unfortunately very correct. Let me actually try taking these guys out instead of... Come on. Come on. Alright. Maybe I can get through this part unmolested now. Maybe. There we go. Ooh, a tank. Man, this bouncer gun kind of cool. Sure is nice not actually having to fight. Oh, it doesn't actually freeze the game action when you're in the infiltrator. I didn't know that. That's interesting. Okay. I think I can finally do this. Nope. I mostly just hate how bullet spongy they are. Like, it feels like I need to do two shots with the bouncer and to get, like, anything. To get them to die. It's very frustrating. It's all good. Man, rapid fire rocket launcher, that's kind of hot. here I go again, thinking that I can do this. I just dance it. But hey, it seemed to work out okay for me that time. Well, what the fuck can I use? Replace the Hypnomatic with the Dynamo. I'm pretty sure you don't need it anymore. Alright, I'll do that in a moment. Yeah, no, all my decent guns are fucking out of ammo. What can I use? As you can tell, that's just not gonna do. But like, kind of don't have an ammo buying station nearby. Use the plasma coil. This fucking thing? Wow. It's kind of neat. Sorry, one moment. You guys can hear me, right? Okay, all good. See, they just keep throwing guards at you, that's the thing. Alright. Well. God damn it. I can't do multiple things with my fingers at once. Like the same thumb I'm trying to use the button for is the same one that I have to use to hold the thumbstick up. Well, I'm out of ammo for that one. Could use my Visibomb, I guess. Nope. Alright. This is it, chat. This is the run. Okay. There's also this thing, the shield charger, which I don't know if that's any good. I'll have to remember that there's that ammo vendor behind me, though, because I have a feeling I'm going to want to restock shortly before I actually do this. It just gives you a shield. Okay. Whoa! You can be up here? Wow. That's neat. That's so neat. Let's go get an ammo restock real quick before I continue. I'm about to take this section a whole lot slower because I keep trying to rush through it and I either die or I run out of ammo. I have to treat the end of the game with the gravitas it deserves. Anyway, what's everyone up to? I have quieted down quite a lot because I'm trying to focus. What you doodling? Diesel. That's a throwback. Nope. Ratchet and Clank won any percent. Neat, neat. I guess it never occurred to me that you could speedrun Ratchet and Clank until I started actually doing these streams and then getting recommended Ratchet and Clank videos on the sides of my videos. So... But yeah, no. It's neat to see Diesel again. Some people even speedrun their marriages. Yeah, their name is Carl Jobs. Oh, fuck. I'm trying to read chat, and that's a bad idea. Anxiously awaiting the next call regarding a job interview. Other than that, I've been doing basically nothing. It'll be alright. You'll find something. Sometimes, well, a lot of the time, it just takes a lot of tenacity. Let's use that plasma coil thing that Moon mentioned. Because it might be worthwhile to have that leveled up a little bit too. Oh yeah, I've been there. I wear the same pair of shoes until I fucking can't anymore, basically. Recently, it's been my non-slip black work shoes that I had gotten actually for working at the grocery stores, and then I never used that, or I never wore them for that. But I didn't want to, because it was the dumbest thing ever. My mom had she does this weird, almost like pressuring thing where she'll like try to talk you into like buying a certain pair of because she, I mean, obviously she has a ton of shoes, but I don't, so she can like match them with like clothing better. They have steel toes, no. So she was like, oh, you should get these these green ones. These they were like green, the same style that I've been wearing for a bunch of years now, but they were in this kind of like khaki green almost, and they look nice, but they don't match with anything. Whoops. And ever since then, I've been reluctant to like wear them because of that. Fuck. This is not working. How the fuck are you supposed to hit them? Can you... Maybe the Mega Rocket? Maybe I can shoot Mega Rockets at them? Nope, I'm still on the Visibomb gun. There we go. I've been reluctant to wear them, yeah, because they don't match anything. And she's like, well, you didn't have to get those. Like, yeah, you were like really like being like, you should get these. You should get these. I think they look nice. Over and over. I'm like, okay, I guess. Needless to say, I only wear very, I don't know. I'm not like a big colorful person. Oh, there we go. Thank you. That's all I wanted was the fucking reticle. Now how about this guy? Can you make it easy for me here? Okay, let's see these. Not that. Not that. Okay, so it's definitely up. Up. Ah, man. Do you just have to guess the route? Yes. It's literally, that's all it is trial and error. And that's why I don't like the infiltrator puzzles, because they're just... You don't get a ton of time for them. At least it makes satisfying sounds. That's something, I guess. Come on, motherfucker. Gonna be rolling yet more, I don't know how you say that, for a work thing tomorrow. This puzzle is so stressful. Genuinely not a fan of this puzzle at all. I do not like the infiltrator one bit. Sometimes I can get it pretty quickly. This is not one of those times. Just because you accidentally find your solution. Ugh. Come on, up, left, down, that way. I don't even know if I'm working on the correct solution, to be honest. I've never had particularly great working memory, so like... Down, up. Come on. There we go. First try. This is the run, chat. Oh, you can jump that. Okay. Cool, that was close. No, that didn't quite reach. Can I stand on this? Nope. No! You're fucking with me. Why? Why am I back here? Is there seriously no continue points between those two spots? Okay, I can see why I gave up on this game. This actually fucking sucks. I'm just gonna rush through it. I don't care. I don't care. I don't need the bolts. I don't want to fight these guys again. They just keep showing up forever. Speed running time if I can make it through this part. Can I just skip these? Can I just run through here? Thank you. Thank you. Sorry, sped running time. Correct. We're not speed running. We're running like a sped. Go. Just that's it. We're not even speed running, just running. Just running. Oh shit, I don't have to fight them again. The door's already open. That's nice. That's very cool. Fuck those. Fuck those guys. Oh. Get your stupid asses off my platform. This is my platform, not yours. Shot. Oh shit. I keep thinking there's gonna be the platform there. Okay. First try. First try, come on. Dynamo. How do I want to do this? Can I just kill them all with the Terminator? Can they swim? I don't think they can. Yep. Thought so. Swing shot. Make sure I actually get over there this time. They dissolve like sugar cubes. So true, so true. Now, how am I actually supposed to get through here? Because there's not another swing shot bit. And I can't get the heavy bounce over there. use my mega rockets, I suppose, which I don't have a ton of, which sucks. Vaporizer, maybe? Yep. That was it. Alright, now I think we're actually making some progress. Okay. Goddamn YouTube eating my comments. Okay. Oh. There's a panel. YouTube chat just gets hungry sometimes. It happens. See, these are the puzzles I much prefer. There we go. So what did that do? Oh, nice. It's moving now. And once again, I'm just going to let the bouncer do all work. Damn, they're waiting for me, though. They're all lined up. I see you back there, motherfucker. Ooh, a tractor beam thing. I just noticed. That's exciting. Haven't done anything with that in a while. Ooh. Little secret platinum bolt thingy. That's neat. I like that. They weren't expecting you to see it in there. Now we're moving, chat. Now we're making some progress. This might be the run. This might very well be the run. Perchance.
This is it. The protopet duplication room.
Unfortunately, I'm a manlet, and I
Sorry,
can't
Mike.
reach the
I had some
keypad.
trouble with the guards.
No problem. You're just in time. Okay, let's see if this thing works.
She is trying to tell us something.
Whoops.
Bye now. Enjoy the hygienator. Remember, you bought it from Steve.
Steve.
Steve McQuark. Indeed. Now that I've sold my 1 millionth hygienator, I can finance the comeback of the greatest superhero who ever lived, Captain Quark! All I need now is a new galaxy with a new fan base, so I can rescue them from a new disaster!
What? It was all Quark.
Sir, I do not understand.
Mr. Fizzwidget?
This is bad.
No way.
All right, just what the is going on?
Nice.
Allow me to explain. I'm about to save the galaxy from the protopets, and you are about to become public enemy number 1. Oh, and 2 and 3. Guards, seize them! Smile, it's showtime! Citizens of Bogon, I am Captain Quark. I come to you in
Yeah, no, I
this
definitely did
your
not get to this
darkest
bit.
of hours to shine the flashlight of justice on your galaxy.
Flashlight of justice? Oh,
A living menace called the Protopet has been set loose in your galaxy. But fear not, Bogonites. I, Captain Quark, have caught the perpetrators. Yes, good citizens, these are the masterminds.
I need a flashlight of justice, too.
Experiment with death. And now, with this, super electro gadget I invented, I will end the Protopet threat once and for all.
That's my Elixamorph. I invented.
Doink.
Ahem. Stay tuned, dear viewers, as I amplify the signal from this helixo thingy and render every protopet in the galaxy completely harmless. Allow me to demonstrate.
Whoops. Wrong.
does that Elixamorph actually work?
It used to. I could probably fix it.
Come on, Clank. Let's get it back.
Sorry, I know I just fell off, but that's because I had to read chat and approve "What a idiot," which is too saucy for YouTube. Whoops! It was set to huge fucking protopet mode. Also, something that I had to manually approve. YouTube, how, do you think we're children? All right, I'm gonna continue to do the thing that I've been doing, which is to use the biggest gun possible and just see what happens. Oh, man. Oh, that's gross. That's disgusting. There's fireworks going on. Alright, so... I love how Kimmy loves moderating so much. He moderates his own streams even though he gives other people mod powers. You guys get to it before me, so... And plus, YouTube gives me a nice big show or hide button. So I'm like, of course I want to show it. And I know it's not doing a whole lot, but if I've got the ammo, I might as well use it. They turned it to W for Wumbo. Is the big Protopet sold anywhere? I don't think you want this. You might think you want this. You don't want this. How about my Blitz cannon? Does this do anything? It does literally like a pixel of damage, I think. Why, thank you. Very cool. Oh god. It's getting closer! Oh, baby. Oh, baby. The guards are shooting at the Protopets. Alright, hold on. I have to contain this incident. Yeah, dude, the bouncer is working great. What the fuck is that? Is this health? Oh, it's a tractor beam thing. Oh man, that's gross. Stop doing that. Whoa! Hold on. Stop wrestling the camera from me. There's a fucking tank over there. There's multiple tanks. Alright, I'm not going to be able to shoot the tanks, I don't think. Oh! Alright. Alright, I see what I'm in for now. There we go. Okay. I see what I'm in for now, chap. Hold on. My phone fucking locked. Won't be able to see chat that way. Alright, it's doing the thing. Since the final boss of Ratchet 1 was so hard, they made this one the easiest Ratchet boss. Really? Man. Alright, you weren't there for the Ratchet 1 stream. I spent an ungodly amount of time on the fucking Chairman Drek boss. That shit was awful. And everybody else can, you know, who was there can vouch. That shit sucked. So, that's really funny. They had to. It was like a makeup boss. They were like, "Here, sorry, we'll give you an easy one because we fucked you so hard the first time." That's funny. I feel vindicated knowing this because again, the Drek battle sucked. That was shit. You know it, Insomniac. I've wiped it from my memory due to trauma. How do you think I feel? I'm the one who played it. Alright, let's use up our mini nukes. Even though they do fucking nothing. Might as well. Ah, bouncer. Bouncer. Oh, we're so close. We are so close. This is it, chat. This is the run. This is the run. There we go. First try.
You did it!
The real Fizzwidget.
Okay, this is the real Mr. Fizzwidget. Quark had him tied up in a supply closet all this time.
Gentlemen, you have my most profound gratitude.
It was nothing, sir.
It was totally
I'm
not.
just sorry we couldn't get the Helixomorph back. Right. What do you suppose is wrong with it?
I don't know. It could take months of research and...
The battery isn't backwards.
That usually destroys things.
Imbecilic to the very last. Down, boy.
I just have to amplify the device with Megacorp's TV transponders, and that should cure the other protopets.
Clank? Uh-oh.
Aww.
It's okay. I can fix her. I promise.
Daw. Well, and that's it. Ratchet and Clank going Commando, guys. Mary Hoverbike Chick Stout. She worked on this game. It's not done yet. Wait for the Marvel end credit scene. Alright. Sounds good to me. Music kind of goes hard. Oh shit.
So, what do you like to do for fun? Oh. Goodness.
He's like, hey, you know.
I heard he was working at Megacorp.
So, you fellas new here? You boys should sign up for the new Pro-Bomatic. That little baby cleans you something fierce. I just got done testing the full body waxinator. I am personally sporting a smooth chassis, and there are no tags on my luggage. All right then.
Phenomenal.
Catch you later.
Subject 23A, please report immediately for crotchetizer testing.
I don't even want to know what that one does.
Duty calls.
Phase 1 of the credits. He gets sponsored by Manscaped. He seemed happy to test it. The less I know about Cork's balls, the better. I think I got all of my desire to talk in like the first half of the stream. So apologies that I'm being a little quiet right now. I know that this is not the most enthralling thing, but whatever. There's still plenty more also that we could do with this game. I don't know if you guys want me to continue for a little bit longer, or you just want to enjoy the fact that it's an early stream. Up to you guys, let me know. All of the naughty dogs. I'm just seeing if there's any names I recognize. If you're feeling yapped out, nothing wrong with relaxing. Our patient spouses, children, parents, girlfriends, boyfriends, and pets. I know that feeling very well. Yes, I do. Hey, no sheep were harmed in the making of this game. That's sort of like what they had at the end of Spyro.
All right, fellas, nice and tight now.
Oh God.
So you tested this, right? Oh wait.
Oh God.
I'm here.
Shield your eyes, children.
One more thing.
Alright, so congratulations. You have the choice to go back in time before you defeated Quark, or play a new game in Challenge Mode. Challenge Mode is a good way to earn tons of bolts by playing a tougher version of the game. You keep all your weapons, and you can upgrade them further by purchasing mega upgrades at the vendor. The Ball Crusher. In Section 2 of Cock and Ball Torture, which fastens around your scrotum and provides a feeling of weight pulling the testicles away from the body. I hate that there's part of my brain that is devoted to having this memorized. Anyway, which one should we do, chat? Should we go back to our previous save, or should we start? I mean, I don't really want to start anew. I guess we could go back to the beginning and play through a little bit. That is one thing that I always like about Ratchet, though, is that they make it so, you know, like your original save, you don't have to like go get the hydrogen, the O2 mask, or anything again. And here you don't have to get all your weapons again. You just start with the New Game Plus. And I think there was already a New Game Plus in the first Ratchet and Clank. So, you know, theoretically, you could be playing effectively 4 different runs. First try. First try. Just got done crushing / rolling balls. Well, unfortunately, you missed Captain Quark getting his balls rolled / crushed. That's, depending on your source, a good thing or a bad thing. His manscaped balls. Oh, all good. I got my phone. Excellent. She didn't miss the ball crushing. Okay. I think we'll start anew. And we will save in the second slot.
Tonight's heroes are the duo who recently restored peace and order to our galaxy, Ratchet and Clank. So, gentlemen, tell us about your latest incredible adventures.
Well, as you can imagine, we've been pretty busy. After Drek's defeat, there were parades, press conferences, fancy dress balls.
And the wiener roast at Hal's.
Oh, yeah, that. And then things started to slow down a bit.
Oh, hey, look,
After
it's
that,
her.
Well...
There was the grand opening at Groovy Lou.
Right. I think
Oh,
it
man.
was last week.
6 months ago.
We're still pretty busy, but in a more,
I get all the references now.
Yesterday, I flushed out my radiator core.
I guess no one needs a hero right now.
It's getting late, so I probably will go soon. That's alright, you're not going to miss anything. Obviously, we're just sort of, you know, goofing around here. The one thing I am curious about, actually, because I don't really know if I really want to start replaying the game immediately after. They did say that there were new things in the options menu.
Ratchet reporting.
So I'm curious about that. Oh, yep. Yep, I do indeed have all my weapons still. That's nice. Let's see. First person mode. It's fucking Metroid Prime! This is stupid. This is dumb. This is, first off, the aiming controls are not flipped, which is fine, I guess. Maybe I don't know. I don't play console shooters very often, so Quake's looking kind of weird today, guys. Okay, this is stupid, but I kind of love it. Now beat the whole game in first person. Theoretically, I could. Oh my good lord. This is terrible. This is absolutely the worst thing I've ever played. I love it. That said, I do... Yeah, let's get my... There we go. This baby's got an even bigger kick in first person. The number next to your bolt counter multiplies the amount of bolts you get when you kill enemies. This multiplier increases as you kill enemies, but it will reset back to 1 if you get hit. The higher the bolt multiplier, the more enemies must be killed to increase it. It maxes out at 20. Neat. Neat as hell. So they weren't kidding. This is a really great way to unlock a lot of bolts really quickly. Can you equip the Sheepinator in first person? You betcha, buddy. Look at those sheep. Those are some Aardman ass looking sheep. I love it. First person mode, kinda neat as hell. Not gonna lie. And technically, with the Sheepinator, you could consider this like a pacifist run, right? Oh, that field of view, man. It'd be better if field of view was not so to. I know this is not a shooter. I know this is not an FPS, so I can't complain about like it not being an FPS. But like, man, I just wish I could set the field of view higher. It's so you know, closed in. What other fun things we got? Random stuff. So, Quake Pro FOV and Ratchet and Clank 1. So we got, what, Space-ish Wars. What is this? It's a fucking version of Space War that they put in Ratchet and Clank where you're playing as the sheep. Unbelievable. So if you don't know, Space War is the OG computer game where it's a two-player and they try to shoot each other, but there's a star in the center of the screen constantly dragging you into it. This thing was, I think it was made for a microcomputer in like the 1960s, like the really early, like the 60s. I want to say the PDP-1. Dude, that's fucking awesome. That's actually really funny. What else have we got? Paintings. We got paintings. Whoa. We even got text about it. So you have the Exterminator. Ratchet 3 has a cut Bomberman minigame. That's fucking really cool. Robot chasing Ratchet. Sadly, you can't zoom in on the paintings. There's the Snow Beast, which apparently fucking killed Ratchet. That's tragic. More spaceship stuff. More spaceship stuff. The Unknown. More cool... Hold on. More cool designs of the character and vehicle by our talented guys on the character team made me want to do another painting. Since this character is mysterious and you don't know who or what it is until you play the game for a while, I wanted to show the character in a solitary environment walking towards his ship in a small docking bay. So this is about Angela. Neat. Anything else? Shortcuts. What? There's shortcuts? Jump to different parts of the game. Probably stuff that you have to unlock with like the cheats and the skill points and stuff. Alright, let's turn off the first person view. And let's look up some cheat codes. Let's look up some cheat codes. Because oh, they're not like normal cheats. You have to unlock them with skill points. Insomniac. You hurt. You hurt my balls. Worse than you did Quarks. Oh, we got sketches too. Oh, it's like a fucking slideshow. It's not like something you could skip through. We got a nice render of our strong, sexy protagonists. And the music, too. That's cool. Chainblade. You know what? This is cooler than the TAC slideshow. That's not a high bar to clear. Those guys kind of feel like a little bit Sly Cooper-ish almost. Not that Sly Cooper was very alien-y, but they're you know, big lizard guys. You can imagine them as like the gun guards. It's like my randomized meme folder slideshow. Yeah. Oh, his different armors. Insomniac Games. Hire them today. And then we got one more thing I want to check out. What is that? Oh, the cinematics are just the different movies, right? Yeah. That's cool, though, that you can see all the old cinematics and stuff. He gets to watch the ball crushing video again. Yeah, let's do it.
Fellas, nice and tight now. So you tested this, right? Oh, wait, that's why I'm here.
This is so fucking freaky. Oh, man. It's the finest 20 seconds of the stream. Fetish material. Real shit. I did see a meow.
Ratchet, Clank.
What the fuck? Like, that's proper, like, you know, micro penis crushing videos, right? Like, that's great. Someone on the team had a, some sick taste.
Hey, who's there?
Oh, she tries to be a cat. That's why it's called Meow.
Wait a minute. What are you doing here? Sending a message to your little pals, huh? Now say goodbye, boys. Take her to headquarters.
That's great. What a great game. What a great game that was. Yeah. I think it is a good time to call it there. I don't want to normalize 3-hour-long streams. I think that was nice and contained. And to be perfectly honest, it was probably necessary that I did that grinding for the first hour, because otherwise we would have come up very, very short on time, and I would have had to figure out what the fuck else am I going to do. Anyway, yeah, so that's going to be it for Ratchet and Clank. I don't know if I'll be playing the third one. Maybe. I've already played 2 of them. You know, I might as well also play Up Your Arsenal at some point. That said, it's not going to be anytime soon. What we're going to do next is, next stream I have decided, that, so the 29th, I have decided we're going to be doing a Retro Achievements special. So, of course, Retro Achievements is the site that I've been mildly obsessed with for a couple years. I saw Nya was tearing it the fuck up on that Super Mario 3 set. Damn. That's good shit right there. So I'm going to be doing a Retro Achievement special where some of the sets that I'm going for will be playing live. So that'll be Guitar Hero 2. That'll probably be the first Namco Museum. Couple things. Just, you know, hanging out. Kind of a variety stream. I might even actually... Oh, I might even show off Retro Game Challenge. Because that's one of my childhood favorites. And I don't know if I've ever... even acknowledged it on stream. I don't know if I've ever mentioned it, but it's a DS game that's a collection of fake NES games tied into a really famous Japanese show called Game Center CX. So it was meant to be a tie-in to that, but obviously we didn't get Game Center CX over here. So instead it kind of became its own standalone thing, and it was really, really good, but nobody bought it. And as a result, the sequel did not come over here, and I think the third one wasn't even made by... Indie Zero, so as a result it sucked. But yeah, I could play through that because I was working on that set. I could show off some of the games in Retro Game Challenge because I still have that set on my account. World's a fucking oyster, you know. So we'll be doing that next stream, and then after that I want to start going on Jak and Daxter the Precursor Legacy. Of course, that being Naughty Dog's game, because, you know, it's a trifecta, right? We played through the Sly trilogy. Ratchet and Clank, we just beat the second one, so got to get some Jak in there. I'm not as interested in Jak as I am the other two, just because I've just, I don't know, what I've seen of like the world and stuff is just not as much my thing. But the first game does look pretty nice, and Naughty Dog does put together a good game, even if it's not necessarily my cup of tea, which was very much the case with Crash Bandicoot. I have never been a fan of Crash. But anyway, so we'll be playing through that. And that should take us to the middle of June, you know. That's not long before when I fucking hope my next Wales trip is. We're still waiting on if I'm cleared at work to take off for that. I'll see what I'm doing there. But obviously, if I'm off in Wales, that's going to affect the streams as well. So I'll be doing streams over in Wales, most likely, like I've been doing. Did I do any in 2020? I wasn't streaming in 23. 24, I was streaming. We did 2 streams over there, me and Kebby together. So I'll be playing through. I don't know. We'll see what I want to do there. I might take advantage of her better hardware to be able to do like a more modern game than I normally play. I don't know. We'll see. And then after that, I mean, it's all kind of up in the air as far as the rest of the year goes. It's crazy to think that we're already almost in May, you know? It's very, very crazy to think of how quickly the year is going. Better hardware is a strong word. I'm running a 2013 fucking laptop computer. Just because it's not top of the line, the fact that it's much, much newer means that, yes, it is way stronger than what I've got. Anyway. So, yeah, Jack and Daxter. Then whatever's going on with the Wales trip. My PC has taken a break from chugging like a tractor. That's good. Very glad to hear that. She has been having computer issues, but again, it's stronger than what I've got going on. And even this one, I'm able to emulate, a decent amount of PS2 games at full speed. At 720p even. So, like, I don't know. There's just not as much reason to buy new computer stuff as there used to be. But anyway. So after I get back to the U.S., I'll see what I want to play through next. Pac-Man World 2 is a possibility because I got a copy of that. Let's see, actually. I have all my PS2 games on the shelf. So I can wheel myself over there and see what we got. What haven't I played through? I have Grand Theft Auto 3. I want to beat that in my own time. Pac-Man World 3 we did. I have Max Payne 2. I don't know if that's any good. I know that Connor was saying Devil May Cry 2 is fucking shit. But in a really Kino way. Midnight Club, that's not really something I can make out of a multiple stream thing. Pitfall the Lost Expedition, I could. I've never beaten that game. I have it. I could definitely play through that one. Resi 4, I have the PS2 version. I have the PS2 and the GameCube version, actually. And I can technically stream GameCube and Wii stuff on this setup, I just don't have my Wii hooked up. Rock Band, I was thinking about that, actually. A multi-part playing through the Rock Band set list, like on drums. I had a way to do that. That might be another possibility of something to play to break up the monotony of all the 3D platformers. And you guys get to see me with my actually good instrument as opposed to guitar, which I can fake being good at. Battle for Bikini Bottom, SpongeBob SquarePants movie. That one's pretty decent too. Never beat that one. And then of course there's plenty on other consoles that I could play through as well. So we got some options. We'll see. I guess what I'm in the mood for, and we'll see where everything takes us. Klonoa, DCB says Klonoa. I've never actually played a Klonoa game. That's wouldn't be opposed to trying it. I've heard they're pretty light too. Oh yes, and then Ratchet and Clank 3, which I don't actually own. Like the first 2 games, I don't actually own that one. I would have to play it on MX4 SIO, which I still have that, which means I can play anything on hardware basically. So that's another option. Lots of options. There's lots of things we could play. We could keep this going for another couple years. Let's be perfectly honest. But I'm not going to keep you guys here for another couple years, just this moment. So I'm going to say peace out. Thank you guys once again for tuning in. As always, I will see you back here next Tuesday for the Retro Achievement Special. That's going to be a lot of fun. Hope you tune in. Hope you tune in for Jack as well. Hope you tune in general. I really liked seeing people who are like not the Somnolians, showing up. I've really enjoyed having other people in the chat, people popping in, saying hi, whatever, Really enjoyed it. So hopefully you guys stick around. I will be here next Tuesday as always. Love you guys. Good night. And see you next week.